Imagine the most unlikely person God could use to change history. Got someone in mind? Now, meet Rahab. The Bible is clear about her profession. She was a prostitute. She lived in the walled city of Jericho. By every religious standard, she should be an outcast, a footnote of sin. But instead, she becomes a national hero for Israel. She saves the Israelite spies, and she is directly named in the genealogy of Jesus Christ. How does that happen? How does a woman from the wrong side of the tracks end up in the lineage of the Messiah? This is not just a story about second chances. This is a story about how God specializes in impossible turnarounds. So how does this incredible turnaround happen? What is it about this woman that changes everything? If you love stories where God flips the script, then you need to join the Timeless Parables community. Hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell. We specialize in uncovering the shocking, faith-building depths of ancient stories. And be sure to watch all the way to the end. The most powerful part of Rahab's story is not just the spies or the scarlet cord. Stick around, and I will show you the brilliant thread that connects this Canaanite woman directly to King David, and centuries later, to Jesus himself. We will trace the legacy of grace. It will challenge everything you think you know about who is qualified for God's purpose. This is about your story too. So, let's dive in.
Let's set the scene. The year is around 1400 BC. This is Jericho. It was not just any city. It was a fortress with giant, impenetrable walls. It was the #1 target for the Israelites. They were camped across the Jordan River, and inside Jericho, there was pure fear. News traveled fast. The people had heard the stories, whispers about how the God of Israel parted the Red Sea, how he wiped out powerful armies. Their hearts were melting. The tension was so thick you could cut it with a knife. Enter our two heroes. Let's call them Agent Elif and Agent Bet. Their mission came from the Israeli leader Joshua: infiltrate Jericho, gather intelligence, scout the defenses. This was a top-secret, high-stakes military operation. Joshua needed critical intelligence. He needed to know the enemy's morale. Were the people of Jericho confident, or were they afraid? He needed to find any weaknesses in their legendary defenses. The future of his entire nation depended on the success of this first military campaign in the Promised Land. So he sent two men on the most important reconnaissance mission in the Bible. Now, where do two foreign spies go to stay hidden? You might think an inn or a quiet home. No, they go to the last place anyone would look for two holy men from Israel. But this is where the story flips. Rahab is not just a victim here. She is a brilliant strategist. In a split second, she makes a choice. A huge, crazy life-or-death gamble. Words have gone to the king about the spies in the land, and he sent his soldiers to search for them all over the place. The soldiers already knew that the wanted spies were at the prostitute's house. Thus, they stormed the place. Rahab hides the spies under piles of flax on her roof. Then she goes to the door, and she lies straight to the king's soldiers. She says,
"Yes, some men were here, but they left at dusk. If you hurry, you can catch them."
The soldiers take the bait. They race off on a wild goose chase. Now Rahab goes up to the roof. She says something to the spies that is absolutely jaw-dropping. This is not a lie anymore. This is a declaration of faith. She says,
"I know that the Lord has given you this land. A great fear of you has fallen on us. We have heard how the Lord dried up the Red Sea for you. Our hearts melted in fear. For the Lord your God is God in heaven above and on the earth below."
Let that sink in. A Canaanite woman who worshipped pagan gods understood God's power better than many Israelites. She saw the evidence. She connected the dots.
This was not blind faith. It was a brilliant, calculated risk. She was betting her life on the God of Israel. And then she makes a deal. She lets the spies down safely with a rope. But this is not just any rope. This is the famous scarlet cord. She tells them,
Promise you will save me and my family.
The spies agree. The sign? This red cord, tied in her window. That red cord was more than rope. It was a lifeline, a symbol of salvation, just like the blood of the lamb in Egypt. For everyone in Rahab's house, that red cord meant the difference between death and life.
Weeks later, the Israelite army returns. They march around Jericho once a day for 6 days. The people inside are terrified. On the 7th day, they march 7 times. The priests blow their trumpets, the people shout, and the mighty walls of Jericho collapse into rubble. The city is taken. But the Bible tells us one small, incredible detail. One part of the wall did not fall, the part with the scarlet cord. Soldiers enter the city. They see that red flag of faith. And true to their word, they rescue Rahab. They save her father, her mother, her brothers, her entire family. So, a happy ending, right? The prostitute is saved, end of story. But wait, the story does not end there. In fact, this is where it gets really interesting. The Bible tells us that Rahab does not just become a random member of Israel, she is fully accepted. She even marries a man named Salmon. Now, Salmon was not just anybody. He was from the tribe of Judah, the very tribe promised to produce the future king. So already, Rahab is moving up. But hold on to your hats. This is the mic drop moment. Generations later, Matthew writes his gospel. He begins with the family tree of Jesus Christ. And this is what he writes. Abraham was the father of Isaac, Isaac the father of Jacob, Jacob the father of Judah. We fast forward a bit. Salmon, the father of Boaz, whose mother was Rahab. Did you catch that? It does not hide her identity. It names her. Rahab, the prostitute from Jericho, is right there in the official record. Boaz, Rahab's son, grows up. He marries another incredible foreign woman, Ruth. They have a son named Obed. Obed has a son named Jesse. And Jesse has a son named David. Yes, that David, the giant-slaying, psalm-writing King David of Israel. Let that sink in. Rahab, the Canaanite prostitute, becomes the great-great-grandmother of King David. And from the royal line of David, generations later, comes Jesus of Nazareth, the Messiah. She is not just a side character. She is a critical link in the chain. God did not just save her life. He placed her in the center of human history. The woman with the most scandalous past became an ancestor to the King of Kings. So, what is the takeaway? Why does this story matter to you and me today? Rahab's story is a wrecking ball to our prejudices. It smashes the idea that God only uses good people, the clean people, the people who have it all together. The message is stunningly clear. God is not looking for perfect people. He is looking for faithful people. Rahab's faith was not based on her purity. It was based on recognizing God's power and her desperate need for His mercy. And that was enough. She is living proof that your past does not disqualify you from God's future. Now, I want you to think about 2 things. First, who is the Rahab in your life? Is there someone everyone has written off? The person with a messy past, the wrong job, different beliefs, the one you think God could never use? Rahab's story challenges us to look again. That person might have a spark of faith,
God is waiting to ignite. Or second, maybe this is you. Do you feel like Rahab, defined by your mistakes, thinking you are too far gone? If that is you, hear this question. What is your scarlet cord? What is the one act of faith you need to take? The prayer you are afraid to pray? The help you need to ask for? The step that says, God, I do not have it all together, but I am tying my hope to you. I trust you to save me. This story is meant to start a conversation, so let me know in the comments below. I want to know, what is one thing about Rahab's story that shocks or inspires you? If you feel comfortable, share your own scarlet cord moment. Your story could encourage someone else. If this look at an unsung hero changed your perspective, if it gave you hope, please do two things. Hit that like button. It really helps this channel reach more people. And make sure you are subscribed to Timeless Parables so you do not miss our next adventure. Thanks for watching. Until next time, remember, grace can find you anywhere.